The day Nana finally got everything she wanted, she felt something move inside her stomach. Not butterflies, not excitement, something else, something wet. She pressed her hand against her belly and told herself it was nothing, just nerves, just guilt trying to speak. She had just signed the marriage certificate. The ink was still drying. The man sitting across from her, her sister's husband, was smiling at her like she was a prize she had finally claimed. And Nana smiled back. What she didn't know, what nobody told her, was that some men come with things attached to them. Invisible things, things that don't show up until it's too late to run. Her sister Amma knew. Amma had always known. And the morning Nana stole her husband, Amma packed one small bag, walked out of that house, looked up at the sky, and whispered 2 words. Take her. Then she smiled, the first real smile she had smiled in 3 years, and she never looked back. This is the story of 2 sisters, one who escaped and one who is still trying.
Amma was 30 years old, and the kind of woman that made older women nod with approval when she walked into a room. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy. She had this natural elegance that you couldn't buy, the kind that comes from a woman who has learned how to carry herself through pain without letting it bend her spine. She wore simple things beautifully. A plain dress on Amma looked like a designer piece. She kept her hair neat, her skin moisturized, her voice low. She was the daughter their mother always pointed to and said, "That one, she has sense." She married Kofi when she was 27. Kofi was 45, rich, well-connected, drove a black Range Rover, owned 3 properties, had a tailor-made suit for every day of the week. On paper, he was everything. But paper and reality are 2 different countries. Kofi had what people politely called expensive tastes. What that meant, in plain language, was that the man had fetishes that would make your head spin. Nothing violent, nothing that left marks you could take to a hospital, but strange, deeply, quietly strange. Things Amma endured in that bedroom with her eyes closed and her jaw tight, because she had married this man in church, in front of God and her mother, and divorce was not something women in her family discussed at the dinner table. She cooked his food, she organized his home, she attended his business dinners and smiled at his colleagues and laughed at the right moments. She was the perfect wife on the outside. On the inside, she was drowning. But she stayed because Amma was the responsible one, the strong one, the one who figured things out quietly and never put her problems on the street. She told nobody about the marriage, not even her sister, especially not her sister.
Nana was 25 and beautiful in the way that makes trouble. Not that beauty is trouble by itself, but Nana's beauty had always been her weapon, and she had never learned to use it responsibly. She was a younger sister, the one their mother worried about, the one their father spoiled, the one who grew up watching Amma get praised and deciding somewhere deep in her teenage heart that she wanted what Amma had, always. Whatever Amma got, Nana wanted it louder and faster and with more packaging. When Amma got a good job, Nana needed a better title. When Amma wore pearls, Nana wore diamonds. Borrowed ones, but still. When Amma moved into a decent apartment, Nana told people she was in between houses, rather than admit her sister had outpaced her. She was a slay queen in the truest sense. Instagram always updated, nails always done, lashes always perfect, but the rent 3 months behind, and the account balance a secret she kept even from herself. When Amma married Kofi, something shifted in Nana. She smiled at the wedding. She was a maid of honor. She gave a toast that made people cry. But under the dress and the bouquet and the performance, something cold had settled in her chest. Why does Amma always get the good things? She visited the house. She saw the cars. She saw the trips. She saw Kofi's credit cards and his watches and his connections. She started to build a story in her head. The story of a life she deserved more than her boring, too serious, always composed sister. She didn't know about the bedroom. She didn't ask. She just wanted the exterior. So she started to take it. It began small. A text here,
a laugh that lasted too long there. She would visit when Amma was at work and sit with Kofi in the living room, adjusting her dress when she crossed her legs, letting her eyes do the talking. Kofi was weak in the specific way that powerful men are often weak. He believed that whatever wanted him was proof of his worth. Within 4 months, they were sleeping together. Within 6 months, Nana had told Kofi that Amma never truly loved him, that Amma complained about him to the whole family, that Amma found him disgusting. None of it was true, but Kofi believed it because he wanted to. Within 8 months, the affair was no longer a secret in the family. Their mother cried, their aunties called, there were emergency meetings and prayers, and one very dramatic afternoon where somebody fainted. Amma sat through all of it, quiet, still, watching. She said very little during that period. People thought she was in shock. People thought she was broken. They pitied her. They composed elegant, dignified Amma, publicly humiliated by her own blood. What nobody understood was that Amma was not in shock. Amma was waiting inside Lifel.
Here is what Nana never bothered to find out before she decided to steal that marriage. Kofi was not just a man with fetishes. Kofi was a man with a history. His first wife, before Amma, had disappeared. Not dramatically, not in any way the police got involved in. She had simply stopped being. The family said she traveled abroad, but the women who were close to Kofi's mother, the ones who talked quietly in kitchens at funerals, they said something different. They said Kofi had something on him. In Ghana, you know what that means without anyone spelling it out. Some things protect a man's wealth. Some things attach themselves to a household. Some things are not seen but are absolutely felt. In the way the air changes in certain rooms. In the way animals behave around certain people. In the way some marriages prosper in ways that don't make simple sense. Kofi had inherited money, yes, but he had also inherited an agreement. An old, ugly, transactional agreement that had been in his family for 2 generations. The women who married into his house did not live freely. Amma had felt it from the first year. Small things, a heaviness in her chest that only lifted when she left the compound, a recurring dream of doors that locked from the outside, the way her body felt like it belonged to someone else inside those walls. She had spoken to someone, an old woman, a distant aunt, someone with knowledge of these kinds of things. The old woman had looked at her for a long time and then said, "You cannot fight what is on that man, but you do not have to carry it forever. If it finds someone else willing, it will move. These things follow desire. They follow greed. If someone comes for what is yours with hunger in their eyes and chooses to take it, the covenant transfers. You just have to let them take it completely. Don't fight. Don't beg. Leave clean." Amma had held that information for months. And then Nana came, and Amma watched her sister's hunger, and something in her went very, very still. She stopped fighting for her marriage. She stopped the family meetings. She stopped picking up calls from her mother. She stopped confronting Kofi. She simply stepped aside. She let Nana walk all the way in. And when Kofi served her divorce papers, Amma signed them the same day without reading them. She packed her one small bag. She walked out. She looked up. She said, "Take her inside Lifel."
The wedding between Kofi and Nana was small. Their mother did not attend. Most of the family stayed away. The aunties who had fainted and cried eventually made their peace, because that is what families do. They absorb the unacceptable and keep moving. Nana posted pictures. Of course she did. The ring, the dress, the house. The captions were things like upgraded and level unlocked, and one particularly painful one that said, "Some women just know their worth." Comments flooded in. Fire emojis, congratulations, some shading, the usual performance of a life that looks good from the outside. For the first 3 months, Nana told herself she had won. Then the 4th month came. Kofi's true nature began to reveal itself, the same way it had revealed itself to Amma, slowly in the privacy of the bedroom, in the closed-door hours that Instagram never sees. Nana was not like Amma. Nana had no patience, no training in silence, no experience with swallowing things and carrying on. She had spent her whole life demanding comfort and receiving it. She called her friend one night, whispering from the bathroom. "This man is not normal," she said. Her friend laughed, thinking she meant something harmless. Nana did not laugh. By the 6th month, she had decided she was done. She told Kofi she wanted out. Kofi looked at her calmly, the way powerful men look at women who think they have options, and said, "You are not going anywhere." She thought he meant it as a threat, a controlling husband thing. She had heard of this. She had a plan. She would pack when he traveled. She would call her cousin with the car. She would move back to her mother's house and deal with the embarrassment later. She waited for a Thursday when Kofi had a business trip. She packed 2 big suitcases. She dragged them to the door. She called her cousin. She picked up her handbag. She opened the front door. And then it started. A feeling, low in her stomach. A turning, shifting, churning feeling. She told herself it was anxiety. She took 1 step out of the door. The feeling exploded. She dropped to her knees on the front step, and her stomach lurched, and something moved, physically, visibly moved under the skin of her belly. She screamed. She pressed both hands against it. She crawled back inside the door. It stopped. She sat on the floor of the entrance and shook for 20 minutes. When she calmed down, she tried again. 1 foot across the threshold. It started again, worse this time. A wet, writhing movement. She looked down at her stomach and nearly lost her mind at what she saw. A ripple, like something alive, turning beneath her skin. She dragged herself back inside. She lay on the floor. She cried until she had no water left in her body.
Ama lives in a small apartment on the other side of the city. It's nothing like Kofi's house. No Range Rover, no tailor-made suits in the wardrobe, no credit cards with numbers that don't end. But she sleeps through the night. She has a job she likes, something in event planning, something that uses that elegance of hers in a way that finally belongs to her. She has 2 close friends and a plant collection she tends on weekends. She is dating someone new, quietly, carefully, on her own terms. She does not discuss him publicly yet. She learned things from that marriage, expensive things. She prays for her sister, genuinely. She also does not visit. Some doors you close for a reason. Nana is still in the house. She has redecorated. She posts less frequently now. The fire emojis have slowed. Her friends have noticed she no longer talks about freedom or travel the way she used to. She laughs at parties, but her eyes are doing something different from her mouth. She has tried to leave 11 times. 11. Each time, she makes it further than the last. Once she even got to the gate before it starts. She has stopped telling people. They don't believe her. Or worse, they believe her, but there's nothing they can do. She has a husband who is not cruel in any way the law recognizes. She has a home, a ring, a life that looks complete in photographs. She is not in chains, but she cannot leave. And Kofi just watches her the way he watched Ama, with that same calm, patient, impenetrable smile, like he knew she was coming long before she did, like he had always been waiting for someone exactly like her inside life. The lesson, if there is one, is not simple. It's not just don't steal. It's not just be careful what you wish for. It's something older than those phrases. Something that gets passed down in the kitchens of certain families, in the voices of certain aunties, in the eyes of women who have seen things they will never put into words. Some things look like a life. Some things are a sentence. And the difference between the two is not always visible until you're already inside. Oma knew. Nana didn't ask. And that, right there, is the whole story. If you made it to the end of this story, you already know someone like Oma. You might even know someone like Nana. Share this with the person who needs to hear it. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Subscribe, because the next story is already waiting. Bye-bye.